Hi folks, welcome to Modern World Literature, English 2051. I'm Dr. Rachel McWhorter. You can just call me Rachel, and I'll be your instructor throughout this course journey with you. Today I am going to be a disembodied head because I just want you to have an opportunity to see some of the basic workings of our course. So right now I'm on our home page. This will be a great place for you to check in every week. Your announcement will likely look a little different now as well because every Monday morning I will update that. This is before the start of the semester, so I just have the anticipatory one waiting. But you'll find out a reminder of what's due the coming week, and we always have things due by 11:59 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. That's constant throughout the course, so you'll get into that rhythm rather quickly. So Monday mornings will come the announcement, reminder of what's due by the end of that day, and then also looking ahead for the upcoming Thursday. Some of the important things here on the home page to remind you of: you've got all the contact details you could need for me, and I do encourage you to use this. I've got my email there. You can come by my office on West Campus during my office hours, which are listed below there, Monday and Wednesday in person, Zoom office hours on Tuesday, but I'm also happy to make an appointment with you to meet either in person or via Zoom if those times don't work for you. And also all my in-person office hours are available via Zoom as well. I'm just only available via Zoom on Tuesdays. I have two little kiddos, one of whom will be home with me this fall. So, all right. You can also find a helpful YouTube playlist of some outside additional videos I've sort of brought together that talk about the topics for our course. They're also listed within the class when they're useful, and there are transcripts for those because I know sometimes it can be harder to understand that the CC isn't very reliable. So I'll show you where you can find this as well, but just know that that's also linked here on the home page. So I'm going to show you, going under content, the main high points of the course. So up here at the top, you're going to have a link to our course text. We do not have any course text you have to purchase. We're using an open educational resource, which means legally we're able to access it for free, and it's linked here. I'm going to go ahead and open that another page just so you can see what it looks like. I've also got the full link here for the license. That is important because we're using someone else's work who's willing and welcoming of us to have it open access. So just giving you an image of what that looks like. The two chapters, and I'll be linking provide hyperlinks for the specific readings, but if you want to look around in it in advance, the two chapters we'll be most interested in are parts 1 and 2. See how you can just enlarge those. I'm sorry, they're slightly off my camera's screen for where they originate. But we won't obviously be reading all of these, but again, just to know where to reach them, they usually include a bio and then the link to the text. All right, so no outside text purchases. You can always find it at the very top of your table of contents. Then here's the YouTube playlist that I mentioned. It will just take you to the same playlist on the home page as well as the transcripts there. That is still under construction, but by the time you see this, it won't be. Where we really want to hit our attention now is the Start Here module, as well as one other thing I want to draw your attention to, the overview. I use the overview, which I'm going to try to link a syllabus link up here in the top nav bar. It's not there right now. We'll see if I can figure it out. But the overview for me means syllabus. So this is what the physical copy of a syllabus would look like if we were to meet in person. I don't actually even offer those to my in-person typically now. Online seems the best place. This will always be updated. So if we change the reading schedule or an assignment, I don't foresee that happening, but I always update this so you're encouraged to check it on a regular basis. It has a lot of important components for how our community works together, what's expected of you, what cool things we get to learn and do together, including some resources. I also have pages for this. A lot of this you'll see are both in the syllabus and in the Start Here module. So there's a lot of repetition in that, but they're important and I want you to be able to access them easily in either place. But just know that you can look both places for that. Again, look through all these important college policies and please reach out if you think they apply to you or you need me to know some more information about you to make this course more approachable for you, to make us all succeed. You'll also find the list of assignments that we have in the class. This is a weighted course, meaning there are different types of assignments and the points you get there are going to be weighted differently based off which category they're in. The bread and butter of our course is the discussion posts, that typically weekly response to something you've watched or read or listened to or looked at, and a chance to talk with your classmates about it. We do have 2 short essays throughout the semester with 4 options. You'll see those on the syllabus further down here in a moment, and you can pick. You only have to do 2. There are 4 slots. So the gradebook will automatically drop 2 of those grades, meaning you only need to do 2. More on that later. Quizzes, those are pretty basic, but they're for each unit just to make sure you're reading the content pages to give you a firm foundation for where that unit is going. And then our final project, which you'll definitely have more on later, and you may be overwhelmed looking at it now, but know that it is here, is hopefully what you'll find a fun and cool assignment. I enjoy reading the outcomes of these. I do variations of this in all of my literature courses where we get to see you taking a particular way into the text and going a little deeper. And I do it through the Choose Your Own Adventure lens. Hopefully you know about those books. I've linked them in the module I'll show you so you can investigate, but they're amazing and they give you an opportunity to have a little bit more agency, we'll say, to use a literary term, power over what your final project looks like. All right, you'll continue to scroll down. Now this will look different from yours because I am still putting this together and kind of playing with it. Themes are set in place and your content pages are up, but this will be where you'll go to see what's due. I will always repeat this information in Monday morning announcements, but look ahead to get the lay of the land. I'm very good about sticking with the syllabus. I really like the feeling that it is our sort of contract, so we know where we're going, or a map, if you will, a little friendlier analogy. So check this out. You'll have options of looking ahead and what's due. As I said, you'll see this is a little Swiss cheese right now, got some holes in it, but it will be in full working order by the time you were watching this message. All right, so backing up to our units, again, this is the Start Here module and what you're going to be working on here this first week, next week. Go through each of these pages. It will require you to learn a little bit about me and the course and unpack a bit more that what I haven't had an opportunity to discuss here at your own time. That's how asynchronous works beautifully. A couple things I want to draw your attention to. I mentioned the Are Your Basic Needs Met? And this will then link to a page of resources that is the same one as the one in your syllabus. But at all times, please let me know if things are going on, extenuating circumstances happen. I do want you to, of course, be here, turn things in on time. That is the way you will succeed. But I also don't want you to disappear. I don't want you to have something going on and just vanish from our course entirely. Reach out. I love my students. I want you to succeed. I love sharing this material. I do know we're human beings first, though, and I just like to make sure everyone knows that's in there. Call attention to that. It's a big part of my teaching philosophy. All right, scroll down a lot of this again. I want you to go through it on your own, but I will leave that to you in your time. There's a little sub-module here, for lack of a better term. That sounds like a spaceship, I know. But this has some helpful big picture information that I consider something you probably learned in Comp 1 or 2 or the equivalent if you would have had it at this point most likely. But if not, that's okay. This will refresh your memory. The main thing is we do use MLA in here. You don't have to worry about strict citations and discussion posts, but anything like a major essay or your final project, you will want to make sure that you cite things correctly. And a reminder of what I'm looking for in things like the discussion posts and replies. What's the difference between summary and analysis? Hint, we're looking for analysis here. And what intertextuality is. Talk more about that. Then after the unit content, each unit looks like this, you'll have any assignments associated with it. So for this first unit, you just have two things. You have a quiz, just to ensure you've gone over the content and feel pretty comfortable with the course's layout, and a discussion board so we can all get to know each other. And I'll let you look into that. A reminder about my quizzes, there's just going to be one per unit. They are unlimited and untimed. My goal is for you to do whatever it takes to get a completely good grade on this because I want you to go through the material and learn it. It isn't a matter of having it memorized. It means that you feel comfortable locating that information in the unit. We're a course that's mostly invested in hearing your unique voice chime in about literature, not sort of memorizing writ facts or anything like that. So the quizzes really are just a little check to make sure that you go through the content and that you know where we're headed. Don't zoom through that. All right. Then we'll progress with each unit. I can give you a sneak peek. This unit is closed until September 22nd. It will be our first completely literary focus. So we'll have like the start here. Then modernism, we'll talk a little about what modernism is. You'll have some videos to watch, to listen to, and an art museum trip we're going to make within your computer. Don't worry, you don't have to leave your home to do it. But once we get to Unit 2, we'll start really cracking into the lit. And the heart of it will be the Metamorphosis, which is a crazy text, but it is something I think we all need to have read, and it's a cornerstone of modern lit. And this unit just shows you how it and Unit 3, they're all laid out. We get a little overview of what you're going to read, what will be assigned, our literary focus in each unit. So you're learning literary tools or refreshing your memory about literary tools along with the literature and time period we're learning. And then using that as a way in. You'll learn make it new is something very special in modernism. Ezra Pound coined that phrase, and it's often seen as modernism's motto. And And there's a lot to unpack with that, as simplistic as it sounds. And then you'll see a quiz, which you take. The quizzes are always just on the content within D2L, not the reading. All right. And then we'll bust up into the content itself. And the discussion posts will follow on that. All right. Let me think if there's anything else that I would like to remind you of. I did zoom through this because I know the syllabus at the end is not quite complete. But let me draw your attention very quickly to, remember I mentioned those 4 essays, making more meaning of the text. You had 2 options. That's what they're going to look like here. Essay 1, option do, and then it will be, there are 4 of those. As you see, they're under construction. They're here, and you only need to pick 2. But I would caution you waiting to the last 2. People do that. I get it. But plan it out. Look at your schedule for this semester. See when you have a maybe gentler week or 2 in your other courses as well, and map that time out as an essay. Those essays are very open-ended. They simply give you some opportunities to go deeper with the text, bring in an outside text or idea that is sparked by something we read. You'll read more about that in there. But essentially, it's just a chance for you to go out and do something interesting, make some connections that are uniquely your own. And my last point will be the special note on AI. It will be mentioned occasionally, and I'm sure you're hearing this in all of your courses. I feel there was a collective eye roll with that. I feel it myself because I think AI actually held some promise for us, but I am highlighting the section which is both in your syllabus as well as in the orientation module. Please ensure that you use your own original ideas. If you do end up using outside sources, which includes AI, it does require a citation. I've included a link. Not only do we have that whole section on MLA, but there's actually a link as to how to cite AI. For the most part, I widely discourage it, but what I'm trying to say is I know it's easing into our world. If it helps give you some, I don't know, starting point or some good questions sometimes, I'm intrigued by its use. But the heart of your content needs to always be original and your own, and absolutely any time that it sounds like someone's voice other than yours, I need to see that carefully attributed. If it becomes a concern, I'll reach out to you first. I've mentioned here it will result in a 0, and that is unfortunately the outcome that we'll have, but you will always get an opportunity to recreate it that first time, give it a second go. But let's avoid AI, right? The siren call of AI, at least for the purposes of our class, defeats a lot of what we're trying to do here, which is to get you uniquely to engage with literature, add your voice to the conversation, make some cool connections. I'm not looking for anything perfect or the ultimate interpretation. I'm looking for yours, what it looks like at this moment in time, in this place, from you. And that's something AI can't give me, so let's leave it off for the most part, all right? Okay, that's all I've got for y'all today. I'm so glad to have you here. Again, please reach out if you have any questions. Certainly if you encounter any issues or, broken links or something like that. I love to learn this from my students because I'm making these, setting them up across courses, and sometimes I miss a thing or two for sure. So reach out, stop by my office. Otherwise, I'm excited for our semester together, and I look forward to meeting you in the 7th Noun activity this first week. Take care.